And welcome back to LinkedIn Logs, the jobs podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. Here we are doing a standing desk episode of this show. To be quite perfectly frank about why I'm standing at the standing desk instead of sitting at the standing desk. This is the first episode I've ever done standing for a podcast, with the exception of when I record the intros for the interviews, the interview versions of the Constitutionals. I record the intros mostly standing because they're like last minute things. Oh, I got to put this out, this podcast version. I'm standing because, let's say 20 minutes ago, it's 12:01 now, at 11:40 something, I was recording. If you don't know, I have just a very, very, very tiny contract gig with Audible. No, it's not a contract. It's pay per project, but a pay per project thing with Audible via their ACX platform, Amazon company. And I was recording some auditions, and I had 10. I was like, let me look at these 10. And I record 2, the only 2 good ones. And then I start looking at the other books that are like on offer, because right now there's only, based on the filters and parameters that I've put up, I see 139 books. That does not mean I'll be doing 139 auditions. Of those, I would say in the past, today's December 10th. The most recent one is from December 5th. So a lot of these are not very recent, and a lot of them are not very good. A lot of them are people going to some type of generative AI program and typing "give me book" sincerely, and I look at some of them, and some of them are still from like November, October, September, and I just go, why? Well, some of them are only offering, their budgets are like royalty payments, royalty shares, and you will not be getting me. Oh, excuse me, I'm on page 6. The most recent one is from December 10th, so pardon me, but still, everything else stands. A lot of them aren't good. A lot of them are very bad. And if I see, quite frankly, here's the parameters for, because this is the only thing that I've earned money with in the past couple of months, except for being hit by a car. Now, that is very true. Now, if I see somebody who has posted, like if I see like Bob Smith and he's posted 7 books in a row, if you post more than 1 book in a row, I'm not gonna even like pretend to look at yours. If a lot of these are AI generated, along with the writing, the book cover is also AI generated, which is unfortunate. Like I can see when people just like write something, when it's just like title of the book on like a blue background, that's fine. But if I see something that took work, I know that, and you're offering like royalty share payment, I know for a fact that you did not make that. You didn't design that. You wrote, and this is going to be so specific because I've seen this person's name multiple times before. And I'm not going to name the book, but you'll see the author, title of the book, and then you'll see like a very detailed picture of the Arthur meme. Imagine that, but with a white fist, like literally the same yellow sweater and jeans, and just like with a white man's fist instead of a brown aardvark's. So yeah. And then also how I know going further. So let's say I decide to use one of these books. Like, okay, let me click on this one. I'm going to click on a random one. I'm not going to tell you the title. I'm not going to tell you anything else about it. Estimated length, I look at that. Project budget, so the length, based on word count. This is through ACX, through Audible's contract platform. they have the estimated, they'll look at the words, and let's say it has 32,000 words. They'll say estimated length 3.5 hours. That's how long they think it'll take you. That's how long they think the project will be, and you get paid for the hours that you worked on that, not the hours that you put into it. So if you put in 7 hours into a 3.5 hour book, you're only getting paid for 3.5 hours. And the project budget's $50 to $100 per finished hour. Language English, distribution exclusive through Audible, and territories world. So I look at all that. I look at the about this title. I see, this has Amazon ratings. 15 people have rated it for a total of 4.8 stars. It was, the book was published November 2024. I won't say the date. And the date that it was posted to ACX is December 10th. The genre, I look at the genre. I look at who's it published by, because that's sometimes different from the author. I see the Amazon sales rank, and I go, oh, if that's something I want to look at, I look at the summary. And if you actually wrote a summary, if it's short and if it's concise, that's very important. I go, oh, okay, maybe I want to, this is the one I want to do. I look at the title again, and then I go to so that's the about this title. I go to the audition tab, and then I see the script. Sometimes the script gets downloaded directly to my download. Sometimes it's a PDF. Sometimes it's a Microsoft Word file. Sometimes it's right there on the web page URL, and they have just like a tiny snippet, or they have a giant chunk. Sometimes it's the entire book, but we're only supposed to do up to 5 minutes. I'm adjusting my stance. Nice and wide-legged. I did legs at the gym this morning. Ooh, lots of cleans, lots of squats, lots of deadlifts. Then I go into Audition, and I set up the Zoom H6 recorder, this microphone, and I go for it. I try to just record in one go. The same way I record those books, quite frankly. I just try to record everything in one go. And again, if it's a self-help book, if it's a book about learning, if it's a book, an erotic book, if it's a romance novel, if it's an action, a thriller, whatever, children's book, I just try to change my voice based on that. I try to change my voice based on characters. And then you can send a message to the rights holder, which is optional. I always try to put in like 1 or 2 sentences, like very specifically. Oh, this is a very engaging book. Oh, this is very entertaining. Like, oh, I'm a huge fan of golf or whatever. And you can upload your file. I export it. I try to do under 5 minutes. If I can get between 3 and 5, that's good. And that's how I do it. That's how I do it. But it's not often you get these things. Again, there's only right now a total of 139 books available on the platform, and then you have to beat out, let's say, 2,000 other people. I'm just saying numbers. I don't know if that's true or not. You can find projects, find talent. I can go see how much money my other books have made me. I'll tell you right now, only one of those books has paid me. Only one of those books has paid me enough for lunch. That is not a joke. And then they'll reach out to you on the platform and say, hey, I like the way you did this, blah, blah, blah. Let's do this. One time I got an offer for a book from, and this is a person who I'd done a previous book for. Like I was literally in the middle of another one of their books, and I did an audition, and I guess I just wasn't paying attention, but they offered me another book, and when their first book that I did with them, not their first book, I remember distinctly because I did 2 books prior to that, and one was royalties and one was pay for finished hour. And I wanted pay for finished hour. That one was $55 per finished hour. It was like a 3-hour book or something like that, 2 or 3 hour book. And so this was roughly 160, 170. So then every audition I've done after that, I've changed the filter to only pay for finished hour. No royalties. I don't want royalties. I will only take royalties if I think your book is going to be good enough. or like it's gonna like in a niche enough place where people will go, I'm gonna keep buying this book. Like the first book I did, which I will tell you the title of, called Tyler's Alphas. Quite frankly, people like that mess, and you know what? They keep buying it. They keep wanting to hear this voice do a werewolf stuff. I'm not going to talk about it. But anyway, you should go buy Tyler's Alphas. It's only $7. You should do it. But anyway, this third book I did, which you could easily find if you type in my name on Audible. This third book I did, this person changed it from pay for finished hour. And I remember this distinctly because I didn't want to do it. So again, the second book I was paid for finished hour. The first book I was paid for royalties. So this third book I did was paid for finished hour. I did the audition. And then prior to them sending me the offer, they changed it to royalties. And I went, I'm never going to get paid for this book. And that was like a 3-hour book or so. I don't remember, but it was so boring. Anyway, they offered me a fourth book, and I was like, no, thank you. Or they offered me a second book with him, and I was like, not doing that, because it is the book that I had before that would probably sell more. Anyway, that's what's been going on. Nothing else has been going on. So there's that. I know it's been, according to Pinecast, which is the podcasts or the feed thing I use, it's been 27 days since I've done an episode. And look, it's the holiday season. Nothing's going on. You can't blame me. I wonder if this is going to look good. I think, look, I'm looking on the monitor right now. It looks fantastic. It looks fine. I also need to take Maverick out for a walk. Maverick's a dog. All right, so here's some stories that I actually set up a couple of weeks ago when I meant to do this before Thanksgiving. This comes from Variety, written by Jennifer Moss. CW lays off more than 24 employees across publicity and development teams. The CW is going through changes after being purchased by, I believe, Nexstar. I don't know why I know that. Can't do math. After being purchased by Nexstar, I just changed my position again. If you're wondering, if you're listening to the audio and you're like, what's all that movement I hear? Oh, Chad had to get his feet changed. His knees were hurting. Nexstar purchased the CW. They canceled a bunch of original programming, including a bunch of Warner Brothers produced shows. I believe All American's still going, or at least one of its spinoffs is. I don't know if they have. I know they have like a handful. Oh, Superman and Lois just ended last week, which is a show I did not watch. And I don't know. I was going to go in deeper on that, but apparently all 4 seasons are really good. Doomsday's in there. That was really cool. I like Doomsday. Lex Luthor's in there, although it's on a different Earth, so you don't get Jon Cryer as Lex Luthor. No other superheroes exist apparently, except for Superman and Steel and some other people. The CW has laid off several employees across its publicity and program development teams. A source close to the situation tells Variety that just over 24 employees have been affected by this round of reductions. The individual says that the decision was made as the network focuses more on sports, unscripted content, and select scripted series, and its continued goal to reach profitability under new owner Nexstar. CW President Brad Schwartz, in a memo to staff Tuesday, wrote in part, and then remember, this is November 12th. We are making these changes not because they're easy, but because we believe they are necessary to build a stronger future for the CW. So the CW is trying to go in with, I believe they have a couple of like stand-up comedy shows that were just not good. I don't want to get too specific because I think I talked to somebody who was on one of those shows. But there are some like stand-up comedy shows on there. They have a bunch of acquired TV shows, reruns, shows like Moesha, The Parkers, American Housewife, and maybe even the Goldbergs. I don't know. Stuff that's in syndication. Next, our Chief Communications Officer, Gary Whiteman, said the CW continues to streamline and simplify the organization. I mean, we know that they're trying to get down to be a more maneuverable broadcast network. They don't have the same flexibility that ABC and Fox Broadcasting and CBS and NBC have, nor do they have the name of a PBS. You know, even PBS, I think, would have more leeway and lenience when it comes to whatever they're able to do. But the CW's got to get to a point where they need to make money. And unfortunately, this is, I guess, at an already lean network, this is the best way to do it. Nexstar reported third quarter 2024 earnings, which revealed the CW narrowed its losses by $36 million from July 1st to September 30th. However, the network's total Q3 loss was not disclosed by Nexstar, which has owned the major broadcaster since 2022. The CW also has things like a NASCAR Xfinity Series, WWE, NXT Wrestling, and apparently those saw double-digit increases. But the thing is, like, when you have a Nexstar Xfinity race, and you draw 1.1 million viewers, which is up from 17% from the championship last year, which was televised on cable, the fans are already built in, and so that's. It's as long as you keep buying things like that, then the people will come. They'll see, oh, you know, this is how I can see my favorite NASCAR racers because the race isn't on Fox right now, whereas later on in the year it would be. Or I like WWE. Let me see where the NXT series, the next series, is playing. Oh, it's on CW. I have that because it's an easy broadcasting thing. It's the same ritual. It's the same move as Paramount airing, or CBS rather, airing Paramount Network popular show Yellowstone on CBS. Yes, people love Yellowstone, and yes, it's one of the highest rated cable shows of the past decade. But there are people who previously watched it and got rid of cable in between, you know, season 3 and 4, and this is the only way they can watch season 4, which is on CBS, or they don't want to get Peacock, or they had Peacock, and just people, or they, you know, people who have never had cable, never had Peacock, and they go, because it's not on Paramount Plus, they go, oh my gosh, I want to check out this Yellowstone. It's airing on Tuesday at 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So let me check it. And then they watch it and they go, whoa, this is great. And then that's how they get ingratiated with that. Anyway, this is a jobs podcast. And it's unfortunate those people lost their jobs so that the CW can continue running lean. But I mean, what if you get rid of publicity and development team? If you get rid of a development team, sure, you don't need publicity. But what happens when you get rid of a development team? People who are helping make more of the shows. Do you go to an outside source? Do you say, hey, you used to have a development deal with, or, you know, you have a development deal with Warner. We heard you were shopping a show there. They didn't like it, and now you can take it somewhere else. Would you want to come do it here? Is it going to be something that's viable for you over and over again? To at least do that, especially next year when it starts to matter that you need to have new shows to air, be they scripted or unscripted, because you're going to have something new, and you're not going to have the money to go ahead and acquire another British series or Canadian series, because they've done that before. The CW was doing that before when they were buying Canadian series and airing them here. Because at some point, you're not producing those shows, so you're only getting some of the money. Let's move on. This is an article I saw yesterday, and it really pissed me off. Not because of the innards of it, but because of the people who are disagreeing what's going on with the people. Let me get to it. This comes from the Wall Street Journal, written by Caitlin Carlson. Putting your marathon time on your resume. Healthy fun or cringy flex? Now, before we get into this, I want to say I'm not somebody who will, besides on my Strava account, I'm not somebody who will go onto my Instagram or a TikTok and be like, this is me, I'm strong, I do this, I do that. No, I record my videos, I put them on Strava for the first time I'm doing them, or if I'm doing a different version of it, or if I'm PRing in it. But that's mainly for me and my 10 Strava followers, if that. I record, or I keep it for myself. But other than that, there's not a lot of me posting it, if at all, to like true social platforms. And I am annoyed by people going, I ran a marathon, I did this, I did that. However, that does take resilience. It takes mastery. And you can say there are 7 billion people in the world and 500 million have run marathons, and I would still be flabbergasted. I'd be like, wow, that's a lot of people, because I don't run marathons. I don't do distance. I only do sprints. Hey, you know what I love? Is the fact that people do it. And them posting their medals, that's fine. That's great. Even if I don't like it, that's fine. That's great, because they did it. And them posting 13.1 on their cars with the bumper stickers and the magnets and all that, that's great, because it doesn't affect me any. Now, when you come to your resume and you do this thing and you have and on your resume, you've got your job, you've got whatever Greek society thing you're a part of, whatever volunteer work you do, and this is a small part of your resume, hell yes, I love it. Put your marathon times on your resume. Do it. You kidding me? Oh my gosh. If I ran marathons, I would. If I ran a 5K, I would do it. I could do a 5K. Can I do a 10K? That's 6 miles. Wait, how much is a 5K? 3.1, right? And then 10K would be 6.2. This article basically is about people saying no, that they don't do it. As Caitlin writes, more than a conversation starter, sports achievements can be a way to highlight workplace valued traits. Many fitness fans and recruiters say, just don't get carried away. Noting your personal best times can be a little much, says Brad Thomas, a New York City-based recruiter, who mainly works with tech and leadership candidates at the firm Orange Quarter. I mean, this shows that this is what I was saying yesterday when I found this article. This shows that you have some sort of personality, that you can do something other than work. If I just look at, this is why I keep C+ comedy on my resume, is because, I've been doing it 11 years, and quite frankly, I'm the best choice. Quite frankly, hands down, I'm the best choice for any job that I apply for. Because I can have a conversation and I'm diligent, trying to sell myself, and you gotta hire me. But I love seeing somebody show who they are. If you want all of these resumes with color and all this stuff to pop, this stands out more than that. And also this got me thinking, okay, maybe I should redo my resume, because I redo it like every 6 months, unfortunately. I redo it like every 6 months again, unfortunately. And and when I was looking through, I just did a cursory Google resume builder or whatever, resume templates. And I found some Microsoft ones. I found some on Canva. I have an Adobe subscription, and I was trying to find one through there, which they do not. You know what? For as much money as we give them per year, they need to have some type of. There's so many ways to cut video. There's so many ways to cut audio. So many ways to make website design thing. All this stuff, pictures. There's no way to do a resume. They have PDF. They have a PDF. They have Acrobat. There's no way to do a resume. Anyway. But every template I saw that was modern, I put in the modern filter on Microsoft, whatever, for 365 or whatever. I put on the modern template. almost every single one of them had pictures. I don't want to include my picture for a job, mainly because I know that a lot of these places don't want to hire a person of color. Quite frankly, they'll see that and they'll be like, and they'll scrutinize. That's like, I try not to put my race down when I apply to jobs, which is a very true thing. But you know, it's so fascinating to me that these recruiters for like super serious jobs don't want this, and they relate back to, if you're applying for a job at Equinox, then yeah, put it down, but don't do that for like a quote unquote normal job. What is a normal job? If I was doing social media and I wanted to pivot to marketing, you know what I'm going to do? It's going to be the most colorful resume, and I'm going to include things I've done from the social media sphere and how they translate to marketing. And sure, that might be a little bit too close of a job thing, but if I was going from marketing to accounting, then I would do the same thing. Hey, this is what I did. This is how I can help visually change things, and this is how I can get it done, you know, just right on schedule, right on time, all that stuff. I think it's so stupid that these people don't want you to show your personality. I would definitely say, yes, put it on. Who cares? Jacob Travis, 29, sparked an online debate when he posted a hot take on Instagram about weaving marathon runner into a resume. The Nashville, Tennessee-based physical therapist says he was shocked by the response, 72,000 likes and counting, and strong opinions. Travis filmed himself selfie style as he ran shirtless. Quote, "You're going to learn so much more about me from seeing what I've trained and seeing that I've trained and ran a marathon than the fact that I was a secretary at my fraternity my junior year of college." I mean, that's very true. What I did 10 years ago, truly, like sincerely, does not matter compared to what I'm doing now. You know, 10 years ago, I wouldn't spend 30 minutes. This is very true. I was at the gym for like 2 hours. I'm on my leg days. My leg days, I'm usually at the gym for like 2 hours or so. And in total, I think I worked out 3 hours and, let me see, I worked out 3 hours and 48 minutes. I worked out for a total of 3 hours and 48 minutes this morning at the gym, mostly because I have nothing to do today. But, I was supposed to see a movie. Whatever, who cares? See, things like that. I could do things like that. But I worked out for 3 hours and 48 minutes today in total. That includes driving back home, which is like 5 minutes. Taking Maverick out for pooping when I got back, which is like 5 minutes. Feeding the pets, which is like 5 minutes. But at the gym, I did 30 minutes of a warm up, which is 10 minutes too long than I usually do. However, I wasn't doing that 10 years ago. I wasn't warming my body up. I wasn't taking into account that, hey, I'm 31 years old and I need to start taking things a little bit more seriously with my bone health and my muscle health and all that stuff. So let's apply that to job stuff, to job things. I'm like a little bit, I'm slightly more serious when it comes to what type of employment I want, what type of opportunities I want, how I approach things in the office, how I approach things remotely. And working out is a big part of that. You know, when I was at CNN, I this is going to sound very selfish, but I told them, hey, I need this time because I don't want to come in before 6 a.m. or what did I say, 7? Yeah, I don't want to come in before, because the show was on at 10. Yeah, I said I don't want to come in before 6 or 7 a.m. because that's my time to work out. And they were like, okay. So if I worked Monday through Friday, I came in at 7. Or for a long time, I came in at noon. And I was working 11. And I was working the 1 p.m. show. Oof. Have you ever been yelled at by somebody who's on national TV and they don't know your name? And nobody listens to you? Thank you, Brianna Keeler. But that's the thing. I mean, it's just, why should it matter if I just have this black and white, straightforward, I was in this and this and this in 2015 and I did this, as compared to, hey, I'm running marathons, and I don't run marathons again, but like, hey, I'm running marathons now and I'm doing this. I mean, if this is gonna come off as ignorant and sexist, but I'm going to continue because maybe it's a learning moment. But if a woman had a child, or if a man took time off to work with his children, Jesus Christ, to take care of his children, like if a parent, let's say a parent, let's not even make it about sex or gender. But if a parent took time off to take care of children, and they included that in the resume, one, I'd be like, hey, that's pretty cool. You were able to do that so someone else could go in and bring in the funds for all of you. And two, I'd be like, okay, that shows that you are still a caring, nurturing person. And hey, maybe that can apply to you being an accountant here at Jingleheimer's and Schmidt's. You know, it does not matter. And in the end, if somebody is good at their job, if somebody can be the best late night host, or someone can be the best dance instructor, or somebody can be the best math teacher, whatever, the executive vice president at Bumblefucks, then why does it matter? But I will not put my picture on a resume, because I know for a fact that there are people out there that'll be like, oh, well, this Negro, I just won't be hiring him. As long as I keep it a one page with bullet points, ooh, you should be happy. Okay, listen, if you like what you heard here, and I know you didn't, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people. On the Constitutionals, today is December 10th, on December 11th, under the Constitutionals banner, episode 317.5, I will have released an episode featuring the one and only featuring an interview with the one and only Stephanie Sue from Everything Everywhere All at Once, Joyride, and a slew of other projects, as well as a couple of her co-stars from the TV show Laid on Peacock. Before that, I spoke to Ryan Hansen, who you'll know from a lot of other projects. We spoke about Night Court, the reboot of Night Court, for the second time. The second time this year I've talked to Ryan Hansen. No big deal. He remembered me, mostly because of the tiger behind me. and also maybe he remembers me. Prior to that, I talked to Liana Liberato and Michael Costigan from the TV show based on a true story. Prior to that, Mick Michaelis, Alexis Gay. Oh my God, I talked Des Bishop. In the past month, I've talked to so many famous people. Chris Grace, Shane Brendan, that was past 2 months. Check it out. cpluscomedy.com. You can also find it, video versions of those chats on youtube.com/cpluscomedy. You can find a video version of this podcast, as well as the Constitutionals podcast, which is the entertainment business news podcast, and Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, as well as subscribe to them wherever you get your podcast. You can follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky at cpluscomedy. Me at Chad Black White. No more Twitter. Fuck Elon. Okay, bye.